Heartless, more like Break My Heart. Hi everyone, I am Rainbow Heart's Villain Thoughts, and today I'll be having a discussion about Heartless by Marissa and Meyer. Now, real quick, I want to explain what these discussion videos are. These are videos separate from my actual review videos, which in themselves will contain spoilers, as where the other videos, the reviews, do not contain spoilers. Even if I forget to say that in the book reviews, trust me, there aren't spoilers in there, but there will be spoilers here for the discussions. Now, where the book reviews are scripted by myself, meaning I write the script out, what I'm going to say loosely, the discussion videos are not done like that. There is no script. I'm just jumping in full force, head on, and hoping there's something to catch me before I fall to my death. So if this seems kind of all over the place and a little crazy, I do apologize. And if you would prefer a more structured version of these discussions, please let me know and I can definitely start trying to work on that. So, first of all, not first of all, sorry, but I do want to say definitely that this is a spoiler discussion, meaning if you have not read Heartless, you might not want to watch this video. Instead, please click on my review video on this book, which you would probably enjoy more, but even more so, you would definitely enjoy Heartless itself before this video, so please read it. That being said, let's get into Heartless by Marissa Meyer. Now, this book is the backstory for the Queen of Hearts. I have loved Alice in Wonderland since I was in high school and even have a tattoo from Alice in Wonderland. I remember trying to read Alice in Zombieland, not my cup of tea. Um, and I remember playing American McGee's Alice in Wonderland Madness Returns and watching the full gameplay while at school during my breaks instead of actually doing homework. So that's on me. But this book was just amazing. So it follows the story of Cath or Catherine, and I love how she knows what she wants in life. She knows what she wants. She knows she wants to be a baker. She knows she wants to be this amazing person who rules her own life. She doesn't have her parents telling her what to do or society telling her what to do. She really wants to stand on her own 2 feet. She does not want to be the daughter of nobility and only nobility. She wants to actually make a name for herself as a person. And I love to see that in this book. I think it's a really awesome thing. But I also see how it reflects in the Queen of Hearts. In Alice in Wonderland, both the book and Disney is Alice in Wonderland. Um, we see the Queen of Hearts is very controlling, very hell bent, if you would, on having complete and utter control of Wonderland in any situation she's in. And when the Queen of Hearts loses control, she snaps. She becomes violent. She becomes outraged. And of course, she wants to behead everyone around her. Also, the Queen of Hearts despises white roses. And we find out in this book why, because she was given a white rose by the Joker, Jest, who she loved. And that was kind of strange to me. Like, I think it's kind of insinuated in the original novel, Alice's Adventures in Wonderlands, and in Disney's Alice in Wonderland, and really any version almost, that the Queen of Hearts does not love the King of Hearts. Now, I think there are versions, though, that definitely show a love between them, but in in the book, I think, and in Disney's Alice in Wonderland, the Queen of Hearts shows more contempt for her husband. It's more so he's the yin to her yang. He's the one that kind of gets her temper under control, but it's still something that is kind of there, kind of more so of that's his responsibility and not that she loves him. And we know the fact she doesn't in this book. Since the beginning, Cath resents the king in the sense of wanting her. She doesn't hate the king at first. She thinks he's a well-intended person, but he's a bumbling fool. And it kind of shows how Cath is the only one willing to say that besides Jest, and of course the Hatter, or Heda as he's called. Heda, aka the Mad Hatter, also kind of thinks the king's an idiot, but he never really says that necessarily. And one of the things I will say about this is I love how the author, Miss Marissa, I love how she explains this, because in the book I always wondered why everyone kind of follows the King of Hearts when he clearly is a dummy. He is not intelligent. He's kind of a fuddy-duddy. And in this book, it's explained that the people of Hearts, or the Heart Kingdom, which makes up Wonderland, um, his ruling kingdom, it's kind of explained, that the people of Hearts will do anything to keep their cozy, comfy lives. And the best way to do that is, to have a king that doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to cause wars or harsh proclamations. He just kind of exists, even if he's an embarrassment, even if he's someone that is this god awful ruler who couldn't find his way out of a paper bag. The people of Hearts would rather that than have their cozy lives disrupted. And we see this in the book how they're quick to forget bad things from happening. Now they're quick to ignore things, but they're not quick to forgive and become trusting again. When Cath is uh, pumpkin cake turns the poor turtle into the mocking turtle, it's already insinuated the people of Hearts are not going to trust her. They wouldn't go to her bakery even if she could open it, because they're going to say, oh, well, she did this. She made this poor guy into the mock turtle. Like, what would it do to us? Oh my gosh, I'm not trusting this lady to cook my stuff, to make me sweets or cakes, and no. Which I think is kind of sad, because I mean Cath has talent. It's heavily insinuated that Cath is a wonderful baker, but she just doesn't get the chance she deserves because she's the daughter of nobility. And every which way she turns, everything just blows up in her face. I really think Cath is a tragic character, and it makes the Queen of Hearts more tragic in consideration of the fact that, hey, she wanted love, she found love, she had dreams, she had a life before she became the tyrant. And it really puts into perspective why she becomes the tyrant and why she becomes this heartless, cruel leader. Um, and I think one of the things that's interesting is she's still kind of seen as this kind of croquet loving queen in Alice in Wonderland. And, she's not outwardly cruel or vicious towards Alice when she meets her. And I think we can see Wonderland through the lens of Alice in the book, and in the film it's not told through the eyes of the Queen of Hearts. So to Alice, she seems more harmless, more kind, not kind, but harmless in a way. And of course, Disney's version insinuates that no one actually loses their heads. But in this, yes, they do, because Peter becomes Peter the Headless. Which I feel was kind of just, but at the same time, as much as I love the Mad Hatter, I don't know why Cath didn't go after him as well. Because if not for him bringing over the pumpkin seeds from Looking Glass, um, there would have not been a Jabberwocky Peter's wife wouldn't have become the Jabberwocky, and down the line, poor Jest would not have died. And Jess is a character that I fell in love with in this book, not in the same sense, mind you, as the Queen of Hearts, Cath did, but he was funny, he was kind, um, and he was just all around this really interesting, kind guy who wanted what was best for everyone, but at the same time wanted to keep his heart. And in the end, he lost it in his life. And I understand Jest had to die for Cath to become the Queen of Hearts. And it's sad because I think it's Hada that tells her once you Hada or Jest, one of the two tells her once you give it, be careful who you give your heart away to, because once you do, you can a heart that's stolen can never be given back. Actually, this is a heart that's stolen can never be given back or can never be regained. Sorry, it's been a couple weeks since I read Heartless. I've actually finished another book in that time, so yeah. um, but the ending broke me. It was so tragic and so sad to see Cav lose everything, including her heart. Um, and to see Hada lose it. He goes entirely crazy and becomes the Mad Hatter we know. Um, it's sad, really. It's really sad because Hada and Catherine, Cath, become people that Jest would not recognize, even if he was still there. And I think that's heartbreaking. And it also leads to the fact that the war between the White Queen and the Red Queen will not end. And that's kind of reflected, I think, with through the Looking Glass, Alice's adventures through the Looking Glass, or Alice's adventures through the Looking Glass, and what she saw there, because the queens are fighting still, but again, it's not as bloodthirsty as it's made out to be by Jest and Hada, but um, again, these are being seen through the eyes of a little girl, so obviously it's not as traumatizing, it's not as bad, it's not as warlike as it's led on to being Heartless. Which mind you, of course, it's also the fact that Carol never wrote it like that, but I am explaining in the sense of Heartless being translated to the original novels. And it's kind of similar to Wizard of Oz and um, Wicked in a way. Like both are kind of Wizard of Oz is told through the eyes of Dorothy Gale, a little girl, and Wicked is told through the eyes of the Witch of the West herself. So hang on, sorry. Um, but yeah, it's one of those things that is interesting. And I like this because it feels like a retelling, but it's actually a backstory. And I love as soon as I saw certain characters like the one, I was like, that's going to be the Duchess. Cath's best friend becomes the Duchess. Um, Hada. At first I thought Jess was going to become the Mad Hatter, but no, it was Hada. And then I didn't think about the turtle being the Mocking Turtle. But honestly, throughout this book, I kept having little glimmers of hope that, Cath is going to win. She won't become the Queen of Hearts, or she will become the Queen of Hearts, but she'll still have Jess somehow. But at the end of the day, that wasn't it, and that's what makes this book even more tragic. Is it gives us those sprinkles of hope that we want to hope against all odds, even though we know how this book ends. And I kind of felt the same way after the book I just finished, after Heartless. It also broke me, and I'm still upset about it. I just finished it this morning, on the 8th, but it's still, oh, it makes me sad. Anyway, but yeah, Heartless is just an amazing book, and I would recommend it to anyone and everyone, honestly, if I could. And let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Um, what part of the book kind of shocked you? And were you hoping against all odds for Cath to get a happy ending? Or were you thinking the whole time, when's the other shoe going to drop? When is she going to become the queen? I can't wait for that. Let me know in the comments down below. And as usual, thank you guys for watching these discussion videos. Um, and make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed this. And make sure to subscribe as both things help the channel. Also, please look out for my next review, which is going to be the last courtesan of Olympus. That is a male gay erotica book review or book, and it's going to be a review on that. So if you're under 18, please don't watch that review, and please be mindful that it's what the book's about. So if it's not your thing, feel free to skip it. Um, but yeah, so I'll be covering that next. That'll be fun. I actually have already recorded the review before this video, but I remembered, hey, I should do the discussion video. So anyway, thank you so much. And again, let me know down in the comments if you want these discussions to be more structured, or if you like the freestyle kind of just bouncing off the wall stuff. Let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Remember, my fellow bookworms, keep reading. Bye.